The world stands on the brink of a major escalation, where a direct military confrontation between the United States and Iran has already unfolded into open conflict. This is no longer a matter of proxy battles or diplomatic posturing. AITI is active warfare, now entering its sixth day as of March 4, 2026. Right now, as you watch this, American and Israeli forces are striking deep inside Iran. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is confirmed dead, killed in the opening precision assault on his compound in Tehran on February 28th. Missiles continue to launch from both sides. The Pentagon briefed Congress and the public today. We have only just begun to fight. Air superiority is shifting fast, Iranian naval assets are sinking, and oil prices are surging as the Strait of Hormuz hangs in the balance. But here is what hits closest to home for millions of people right now. The United States has slammed the door on travel and visas. New visa restrictions targeting Iranian officials, Revolutionary Guard members, and their families are already in force. The State Department has issued urgent travel warnings that are unprecedented in scope. Depart Now orders are active for Americans in 14 countries across the Middle East. Visa interviews are canceled. Stamping is frozen. Work visas, H-1B, L-1, O-1, are caught in chaos. If you are waiting on a United States visa petition, planning to travel for stamping, holding an approved petition but stuck abroad, or sponsoring foreign talent, this war is already rewriting your timeline. Stay right here. Do not click away. In the next few minutes, I will walk you through exactly what these new bans and urgent warnings mean for your status, your job, your family, and your future, and the practical steps you need to take immediately to protect yourself. The conflict ignited on February 28th, when United States and Israeli forces launched coordinated strikes targeting Iranian nuclear facilities at Natanz, Fordo, and Isfahan, ballistic missile sites, air defense systems, naval bases in the Persian Gulf, and high-value leadership targets. Among the confirmed outcomes was the elimination of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, along with several senior officials from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and the nuclear program. Iranian state media and international reporting from Reuters, CNN, and the Associated Press have verified Khamenei's death, marking one of the most significant leadership losses in the Islamic Republic's history. Iran responded with ballistic missiles and drone attacks on United States bases in Iraq, Kuwait, and Qatar, strikes against Israeli cities including Tel Aviv, and actions by proxy groups such as Hezbollah in Lebanon and Iraqi militias. Casualties continue to rise. United States Central Command reports 6 American service members killed and 18 seriously wounded. Iranian sources, including the Red Crescent Society and human rights monitors such as Harana, indicate between 787 and 1,097 deaths on their side, with thousands injured, including civilians in urban areas affected by strikes. In Israel, at least 11 civilians have been killed and over 1,200 wounded from missile barrages. The conflict has spilled into Gulf states, with intercepted strikes causing damage in Bahrain, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. President Trump has described the operation as targeted and limited, stating ATI could conclude within 4 to 5 weeks without a prolonged ground war. Pentagon officials, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane, emphasized that United States forces have achieved significant degradation of Iranian capabilities, destroying hundreds of ballistic missiles and launchers while sinking much of Iran's naval fleet. Admiral Brad Cooper of Central Command confirmed ongoing 24/7 operations from seabed to space and cyberspace, involving more than 50,000 troops, 200 fighter aircraft carriers like the USS Harry S. Truman Strike Group, repositioned in the Eastern Mediterranean, and additional assets flowing into the theater. Analysts from the Institute for the Study of War and Signum Global Advisors indicate the campaign is accelerating toward a decisive outcome that could leave Iran stripped of ballistic missiles and nuclear ambitions, potentially allowing operations to wind down sooner than expected. This military reality has triggered immediate and far-reaching consequences for international travel and United States immigration processes, particularly employment-based visas. On February 28th, the Department of State issued a worldwide caution advisory to all American citizens, urging increased caution globally with special emphasis on the Middle East due to expected periodic airspace closures, flight disruptions, and potential anti-American demonstrations. Americans are directed to monitor guidance from the nearest embassy or consulate and enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program at step.state.gov for real-time alerts. By March 2nd and 3rd, the advisory escalated sharply. Assistant Secretary of State Maura Namdar and multiple embassy security alerts directed American citizens in 14 countries to depart now using commercial transportation due to serious safety risks from missile and drone threats. The affected nations are Bahrain, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Israel, including the West Bank and Gaza, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, the United Arab Emirates, and Yemen. Iran remains at level 4, do not travel, the highest classification, citing risks of terrorism, arbitrary arrest, wrongful detention, and the complete breakdown of consular services. Americans in Iran are advised to shelter in place and, if conditions allow, leave immediately by land routes, as commercial air travel is highly unreliable or impossible with airspace largely closed. Consular operations have been severely curtailed. Several United States embassies and consulates in the Middle East have suspended routine services or closed temporarily as precautionary measures. In Saudi Arabia, facilities in Riyadh, Jeddah, and Dhahran operate with skeleton staff only. The embassy in Kuwait closed on March 2nd, with non-emergency personnel and families ordered to depart. Similar limitations affect posts in Lebanon, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates including Abu Dhabi and Dubai, Bahrain, and other locations. Visa interviews have been canceled or postponed indefinitely at these high-risk posts. Emergency services continue for life or death matters, but routine processing, including non-immigrant visa applications and immigrant visa issuances, has ground to a halt in many cases. Major airlines have mirrored these disruptions. Carriers such as Emirates, Qatar Airways, Etihad, and others have canceled hundreds of flights across key transit hubs like Dubai, Doha, and Abu Dhabi. Thousands of passengers, including those en route for visa stamping, business travel, or family visits, remain stranded with no firm resumption dates. Alternate routes through Europe or other regions face added scrutiny, potential delays, and heightened security protocols at airports. For individuals holding or pursuing United States employment-based visas, these developments represent a profound disruption. H-1B specialty occupation visas, L-1 intra-company transfer visas, O-1 extraordinary ability visas, and similar categories depend heavily on consular processing abroad for visa stamping after United States Citizenship and Immigration Services petition approval. Many applicants, particularly from South Asia, the Middle East, and other regions, rely on Middle Eastern consulates or transit through Gulf hubs for interviews and stamping. With these facilities limited or closed, stamping appointments have been suspended, leaving approved petitions in limbo. Travelers abroad on valid visas face re-entry challenges if flights remain unavailable or if secondary inspections intensify at United States ports of entry. Immigration law firms, including Reddy Newman Brown Professional Corporation, in their March 3rd analysis, published on rnlawgroup.com, described the situation as sudden travel paralysis, with serious risks to jobs and legal status. They note that a visa approval means nothing if the plane never takes off, and that indefinite pauses in stamping create uncertainty for H-1B, L-1, and O-1 holders. Employers sponsoring foreign workers are postponing international assignments, advising remote work where possible, and preparing contingency plans for status maintenance through extensions or other means. Backlogs at consular posts, already substantial in normal times, are expected to grow significantly once operations resume. Processing delays could extend for months or even years as systems recover from the shutdown. For applicants from certain high-risk countries, including those under pre-existing public benefits reliance pauses or enhanced screening, scrutiny has intensified in this context, though no blanket suspension of work visas has been announced. In February, the State Department imposed fresh visa restrictions under Section 212A3C on 18 Iranian regime officials, telecom leaders, and their immediate family members for human rights violations and protest crackdowns, barring them from entry. Combined with the January 2026 presidential proclamation suspending immigrant and non-immigrant visas for nationals of 19 countries including Iran, and the ongoing pause on immigrant visas from 75 high-risk countries, these measures add layers of restriction that feel acutely new in the current war environment. The broader immigration landscape feels the ripple effects. Students on F1 visas, exchange visitors on J1, and others planning international travel confront uncertainty about re-entry. Dual nationals, or those with family ties in affected areas, receive urgent advisories from universities and employers to avoid departure if re-entry could be compromised. Businesses with global operations scramble to assess exposure, coordinating with legal counsel to find timely extensions, maintain status, and navigate potential gaps that could arise from prolonged absences or travel restrictions. Allied nations have aligned closely with the United States response. The United Kingdom, European Union member states, Canada, and Australia issued elevated travel advisories for Iran and parts of the region within 48 hours of the initial strikes. This coordinated stance reflects shared intelligence assessments of the escalating risks. Switzerland's foreign ministry, for example, suspended new visa processing in Tehran and advised against all travel to Iran. Iran's foreign ministry has condemned the measures as psychological warfare and economic aggression, rejecting claims about its nuclear program and insisting on its civilian nature. Tehran accuses Washington and its allies of destabilization efforts through sanctions, isolation, and covert actions. Despite the rhetoric, the absence of direct diplomatic channels complicates de-escalation. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action nuclear agreement, abandoned by the United States in 2018 and not revived, leaves no formal back-channel framework in place, heightening the danger of miscalculation. Global energy markets have reacted sharply. Oil prices surged more than 4% in recent trading sessions as traders factored in potential disruptions to the Strait of Hormuz, through which roughly 20% of world oil supply passes daily. Iran has threatened closure of the strait in response to strikes, conducting naval exercises in recent months to demonstrate capability. Any sustained restriction would trigger immediate economic shocks, including higher inflation and supply chain pressures worldwide. In this fluid and dangerous environment, the advice from official sources remains consistent and urgent. Individuals with scheduled travel to or through affected areas should cancel non-essential plans and contact their foreign ministry or embassy for guidance. Those holding pending visa applications or awaiting stamping should monitor the Department of State website at travel.state.gov regularly, check with their consulate for rescheduling information, and consult immigration attorneys to protect status. Employers sponsoring foreign talent are urged to maintain meticulous documentation, explore remote alternatives, and prepare for extended timelines. The conflict remains active, with United States and Israeli forces conducting broad waves of strikes on Iranian infrastructure, including command centers in Tehran and Revolutionary Guard facilities. Retaliatory actions persist, including missile strikes on regional bases and proxy engagements in Lebanon and elsewhere. While military analysts anticipate a path toward de-escalation as Iranian capabilities degrade, the coming days and weeks will determine whether diplomacy can re-emerge or if further escalation reshapes the geopolitical landscape. For millions of professionals, families, and travelers worldwide, this is no distant headline. AITI is a live crisis with tangible consequences for borders, flights, visas, and livelihoods. Stay informed through verified official channels, including travel.state.gov and step.state.gov for enrollment in alerts. Prepare contingency measures. The stakes remain extraordinarily high as events continue to unfold rapidly.